Before watching this video, please take a minute to read and understand our disclaimer. If you do not agree to this disclaimer, please close this video.
Collapsed Bitcoin exchange Mt. Gox is about to unload $9 billion of coins onto the market. Now, we touched on this a little bit last week, and we're going to further elaborate on this because we now have dates. We now know exactly what's going on because we have the actual document from Mt. Gox themselves. So, for those of you who don't know, just a quick recap, Mt. Gox was the world's first crypto exchange, dating back to, I think it was 2013, 2014, when Bitcoin was only $400. Keep in mind that when it was that cheap, if you have $10,000 in the game now, you own maybe 0.1 BTC. If you had $10,000 in the game back then, you owned maybe 25 BTC. Adjusted for today's value, you've made quite a good earn. Thing was all these people that were trading on this exchange, they all got hacked and they all lost their coins. Now, they've essentially been forced to hold since 2013 because their coins were disappeared. They were unable to withdraw them. They had been hacked. And what's coming now, the payout comes more than 10 years after the platform under following a series of heists that cost the exchange up to 950,000 Bitcoin, which is about 1% of the total Bitcoin supply. Sorry, 5% of the total Bitcoin supply. That's a big deal. That's a very big deal. While this is good news for the victims of the hack who have spent many years waiting to be made whole, price of Bitcoin slid to 59,000 in the market's second worst decline. This is causing a lot of fear in the markets. It makes sense if you are holding Bitcoin at $400, and I'm going to relate to every single person on this call because I know we're all going to think the same. If you had 15 Bitcoin and it was at $400, you wake up tomorrow morning, you get that 15 Bitcoin back. What's the first thing you're going to do? Let me know in the chat. Sell. Correct. But you might not sell at all, but you're going to take some profits. You'd honestly be stupid not to. Corey, LDR8. I think they'll be doing a bit more than an LDR8. Some of these people are probably going to go move up to sunny Gold Coast and live in mansions, right? Some of these people are going to buy Lambos, but it's actually life-changing money. It makes sense to see some of these people take some kind of profit. I get it. There's going to be people in there that believe in it and think that it's going to go to $1 million. But if you didn't cash out at least $1 million each, right, you honestly, I think most people are probably going to go out there and cash out a little bit. It just makes sense to me. And this is starting to happen. Here's the actual document from Mt. Gox. I know it doesn't look too flash, but they've gone here and said these preparations are in place. The trustee will commence the repayments in Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash in due course. The repayments will be made from the beginning of July 2024, which is right now. So this is actually happening. And to top it off, what we just saw was this chart will blow the socks off you and slap you in the face. The entire history of the chart has disappeared because of an enormous sum of Bitcoin moved on chain, 10 times higher than previous highs, $9 billion. Mt. Gox have started to distribute that $9 billion worth of Bitcoin. And it's actually that much that, look at how big the last big transfers are. Like, if you're looking at them and comparing them, it's so much smaller. That's how much Bitcoin is about to come onto the market. So there's a lot of fear in the markets right now because of this. A lot of fear. People are starting to sell, and we're seeing that live on the charts. We're starting to see a pullback because people think that the worst could be about to come. Because this is going to be the big one for us. And I think there's going to be more potential in the Ethereum trade than what there's going to be in the Bitcoin trade. So first off, when spot ETF. BBG sticking with mid-July. Amended forms are due by July 18th, and the potential approval date is July the 12th, would theoretically mean launch week of July 15th. We could see the Ethereum ETF launched by July 15th. There are some other sources out there saying that it's going to be launched tomorrow. I think it might be a bit of a stretch, but from now until tomorrow, I think that there's going to be a high potential that we're going to see something come out for the Ethereum ETF, and it's looking like it is going to get approved. It's very high possibility right now. The fees are all set. They've done their seed round. Everything looks like it's going to come. I really just wanted to spend 5 minutes talking a bit about this first. Now, if you have a look at the Bitcoin ETF when it launched, what we saw is that price shot up and then dumped. Okay. I'm expecting a very similar result for Ethereum. I expect price to head up and then come down. And I'm going to show you why. Grayscale currently hold a lot of ETH. They currently hold just under 3 million ETH in their current fund that they have, their current ETF. Problems with this ETF is that the fees are quite high. So what's going to happen when this new ETF launches is what we're going to probably see. It's not 100%, but I think it is a possibility. People are going to sell from that previous fund, which is the high fee, and they're going to go and rebuy this new ETF, which is low fee. But from what I've noticed with ETFs, is that they tend to sell when the daily stochastic gets really high. And we can notice this with Bitcoin. They start to sell just like any other trader, and they tend to buy when the stochastic comes quite low. And if we're looking at ETH right now, you can see that we're trending up. It looks like we might put in one more low before we start to come up. But keep in mind that as this happens, there's going to be the opportunity there where we're going to get a push up, ETF inflows are going to come in, and then we may get that dump down. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to follow, share, and subscribe with your friends, and also make sure to check out empirecryptotrading.com for more tips and to see more live calls just like this. We'll see you in Empire Platform.